Walter, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well, Dave.
I got some more joke cards here. I'm going to try a joke or two, if you don't mind, before we get to you. Mom, you know Mom. Well, she's very patriotic now. She's only buying domestic vodka.
Make it herself, perhaps.
Let's try one more. That one worked so well, why not? New Yorkers are showing their patriotism. This afternoon, Little League pitcher Danny Almonte re-enlisted. There you go. Our first guest has long been known as the most trusted man in America. He's right here, Walter Cronkite. Walter, good to see you.
Dave, I think your people are my people.
I want to take a second here, and I don't know if I should do this, but I'm going to anyway. You and I have something very significant, very important in common, don't we?
Have you torn your Achilles tendon too?
The gentlemen, the people that did some heart work on you are the same people that did the heart work on me.
Dr. Isom.
Yeah.
The marvelous Dr. Isom.
And how is yours holding up? What do I have to look
Very
forward
well
to?
up to now.
That ain't funny, Walter. How long ago did you had bypass surgery?
Yeah, quadruple. Yours was quadruple, wasn't it?
No, I had 5.
You had 5.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Always got to be on top. Mine was, 5 years ago now, I guess, something like that. I have had absolutely no trouble at all up to now.
They do a nice job.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the situation. What do you know now? What should we be doing? What should we be thinking? Help us out here. What does it look like to you?
Well, it, of course, we're still in a deep state of shock, as would be expected, certainly. I expect that to continue a long time.
Right.
It's going to be a very long time. In this generation, no one's ever going to forget the pictures they saw on television during that terrible week immediately after the thing. What we have to be concerned about now is we're going to be hearing, but by the time this goes on the air, we're taping this earlier, we're going to be hearing the president.
That's right.
Before the joint session of Congress, presumably laying out some detail. Well, I doubt very much detail of what we can expect.
What is the purpose and objective of this address tonight? Because you say maybe not a lot of detail. What then is he up to? What is he trying to accomplish here?
I think it's to summarize what they've been up to since September 11th,
right.
As much as they can. And officially reporting to Congress is an official report to the American people as represented in Congress. So it's a platform.
It's a huge platform because it's everybody around the world, including the enemy, listening to this and monitoring this. Yeah.
The big thing that we need to think about, I think, now, is that we know that we want to get retribution. We are with the president 100%, the American people, to bring to justice we possibly can the perpetrators of this heinous act. However, to my mind, I think we also must keep in mind that there may be other solutions to the problem than that which the president may propose tonight, or that may be being considered in our government. It doesn't mean that we should be any less determined on our course, but there may be other ways to reach it rather than the military action that seems to be planned. And there is a body of opinion right now that's rising that says this is the wrong way to go about it. That invasion of Afghanistan, for instance, is a bottomless hole of incredible losses. Not only many losses to the innocent people of Afghanistan, of whom there are many, who do not agree with the Taliban on this type of atrocity. There'll be many losses of American soldiers, women. And the possibility is that, according to that line of reasoning, is that it may create additional hatred, causing additional casualties right here at home as this war is extended.
Everybody who talks about this is worried about retaliation and further retaliation, retribution.
So what we have to do, I think, is prepare ourselves to think about alternatives, to think sort of, you know, we had this one solid thought: get even, for heaven's sakes, get these guys. And that's perfectly understandable and justifiable, and we shouldn't lose that objective. But on the other hand, we should have perhaps second thoughts.
What would be a second
how
thought?
we do it?
What would be the alternative? And give me an example if we have invoked it in the past, and how has it worked?
The alternative would be, if it's acceptable to the American people and to others, the alternative that I think our allies are thinking of instead of this all-out military reaction, and that's taking it more slowly. Working instead inside to try to do it with our CIA, FBI, if you will, intelligence sources to reach Bin Laden, whatever that idiot's name is. I'm trying to forget it already, as if that would help somehow.
Now, when you say working inside, you mean to help them or to help take him out?
No, to help get him out.
To help get him out.
Help to find him, get him out. This would enable us also to move ahead on this thinking in getting toward the successors to Bin Laden, there will be many, and other secret sources of terrorism.
So how do we extinguish the entire line, is what it sounds like to me. Then that becomes the objective.
Well,
it's always been, how do we do that?
It may be easier than if we go into all-out war, is the thinking. All-out war is a commitment that is unending in many ways. We're going to have to stay in Afghanistan for how many generations, for instance, in a hostile area, and make more enemies in that part of the world. Also, we should be, as we should have been all along, paying attention to the economic status of these people, which has led to some of this hatred.
They have nothing,
They have nothing, and you know, television is partly responsible perhaps for this. We were responsible for helping to bring down the Berlin Wall and defeat of the Soviet Union, because they were seeing television for the first time from the Western world, and they said, look at the riches those people have. Why can't we have that sort of thing?
MTV and wrestling.
Yep.
So you were saying about the Berlin Wall coming down, largely the influence of observant culture of this country and others, and TV and so forth, and how would that apply? How does that logic or theory apply to the situation?
Well, it has helped to create some of this enmity, which is purely envy in the entire very depressed parts of the Arab world. Those people have watched American television now, and they see all of these riches, and they are therefore a setup for these people who are playing upon that to create hate for us.
So we would try to help somehow economically and with other resources for these.
But we should have been doing that all along.
But doesn't then that look a little like extortion in light of what's happened here?
Well, I think it might be distorted into looking like that, but I think we'd be able to clarify what we're up to.
Well, and has it worked in the past? I mean, have we neutralized enemies by lifting them up economically?
I can't say that we specifically have to the degree that we have quashed all envy around the world. But on the other hand, look at the successes of the little bit of money we've spent, but the devotion of the people in the Peace Corps. We've sent very few of them around the world, and those people have made friends in the world.
Well, I certainly think it's worth examining and exploring other ways, because everybody I have talked to this week tells me that it's going, whatever, if it is military in nature, it's going to be long and very difficult and many, many casualties. So if there is another possibility, I certainly think people...
Well, all I'm suggesting is that we know what our intentions and our purposes are. We're not going to let go of that. But we should have a second look at how we handle it, not just rush in pell-mell and say, well, this is what we promised and this is what we're going to do. let's take a look. Let's slow down just a little bit.
Now, the address this evening notwithstanding, because we don't know what happened, don't know what will happen, but are we going to hear everything? Are they going to keep secrets from us, our government, about this operation?
Well, they've told us they're going to keep everything secret. The Pentagon people have openly talked about the fact that this is a secret war, that they're compartmentalizing even the Pentagon teams so that they won't know each other what is happening. They can't leak material. That is unfortunately not the democratic way. We've got to have the secrets protected. There's no question about it. But there's a way to do that and also keep the American people informed. We're not only should be kept informed, but we have a duty to be kept informed because we are the ultimate authority, after all, in democracy. And that can be done very simply, as was done in World War II, with a system of censorship. I hate the word censorship, but in a wartime situation, it is the only way. And we have to also be sure that the military permits correspondence with the troops, wherever those units are operating, cameramen with the troops. They cannot send their dispatches out without clearing a censorship system that would be set up by the military and with civilian monitors of it to protect our right to know and our duty to know. And if I've got half a second, I'll tell you the importance of that. When we liberated the execution camps in Germany, the burghers from the surrounding towns came, these red-cheeked, nice-looking Germans, crying copious tears. They didn't know what was going on behind those walls. Well, I can believe that some of them may not have known. Maybe many of them didn't know. But they were just as guilty as the Nazis themselves for what happened, because they applauded when Hitler shut down their newspapers and shut down their radio, and they said, we don't need to know. Yeah. We trust our government. Right. They became guilty when they did that. Yeah. We have to know as a duty.
Yeah. You know what? Is this anything? How about this for a position? Up to now, we've all fretted and grieved and been very, very sad and discouraged and depressed, rightfully so, by the events. Should we now look at this as, okay, we're at war, and we have a project, and it's going to be a very, very, very big project, but that's all right. This country can handle a big project, and thereby can we feel a little bit better about this awfulness ahead of us?
That's a tough one, Dave. Obviously, we want to feel that we can be optimistic again. I think it's almost too early to try to get to that point. Yeah. You know, I think that one thing I've noticed, we're beginning to say almost 6,000 died, almost 5,500 died. I'd rather have us be able to say almost every day 5,244 died, because those were 5,244 individuals, right, not almost 6,000 people.
As a fellow who has seen and covered big news stories all your life, when you heard of this, how did it feel compared to other big news stories you've covered?
Well, how do you think it felt?
Well,
I mean, how do you really think it felt? You know, I think the question is acceptable. I'm not criticizing your question, except that I think we all felt the same way. I really think that's one of the unifying things about us. I don't think there was an American with a different thought except invoking the deity. My God, how could this happen? Yeah. And the shock of it happening, and the terrible awareness of our vulnerability, that a small band of fanatics, idiots, could commit such mass murder, and right in the middle of the greatest city in the world.
Absolutely.
Walter,
you have a birthday coming up. You mentioned in November.
I hope I have a birthday.
Well, you have a birthday coming up in November.
I'm planning it.
How old a man will you be in November?
How old?
Yeah.
Let me see now. Let me count the
Walter.
ways.
Walter.
I'm afraid it's going to be 85.
85. Congratulations. That's wonderful. Great to see you. God bless you, Walter. Thank you for being here. Walter Cronkite, everybody. We'll be back with Will Ferrell.